Now, I'd like you all to rewind a little bit and pretend that you are in high school and your parents are still very involved in your life. If your parents didn't like your boyfriend slash girlfriend slash partner, etc., I would break up with them. Thumbs up for truth, thumbs down for false.
I think I'm honestly a bit inclined on thumbs up. Now, this is particular to if my parents didn't like them. I guess I'm the contrarian in this one. I think there's a difference between your parents don't like them, as in this is just they have a personal distaste, or they have some clear bias, or you have contrary beliefs. Like, if your parents don't like them because you're gay, and your parents don't like that you're gay, that's obviously different. But there is a kind of obvious element, which is your parents have been alive your age plus X number of years. You know, they might be able to see signs of immaturity or kind of emotional neglect or things like that that you as a love-struck teen can't. So in the sense of, my parents don't like this person, and they sit me down and like, hey, I know you're having a good time. We're concerned about this. I think that's a pretty valid reason. If you have a good relationship with your parents and you know that they're not just being, I was going to say a cuss word, but I've been told to limit that a little bit. But, you know, in that kind of circumstance, I think there's not necessarily something wrong with deferring to the judgment and experience of someone who's known a lot more types of people than you have.
Yeah,
now,
I agree with that completely. I have a good relationship with my parents and I trust them. Like, even as a teenager, when we were butting heads, I trusted their judgment if they wanted to give me advice. So I would assume that there was a genuine reason for concern if they were telling me, I don't like this person that you're dating. However, knowing how I was as a teenager, I would have just not listened to them. Just to be contrarian, to be rebellious, to be like, I'm living my own life and you're not the boss of me. So, like, in the context of I'm a teenager and my parents are telling me they're concerned, I would probably not listen to them even if it was good advice. Like, I was not mature enough to do that as a teenager.
I would pursue them even harder.
Yeah, I certainly just like have to go from historical data.
The numbers.
I've done the research. I've read the numbers.
For what it's worth, Drew, I mean, Juliet agrees with you. What's the line? My greatest love born from my greatest hate. Is that the Juliet line?
And you read that line like, my greatest.
It's so good.
I don't think my parent has told me before, I don't like this person that you're dating, until after. So there's that as well. Like, are your parents verbalizing this to you in this scenario?
Well.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I will concede a bit of a limited frame of reference. My parents immediately liked my spouse so much that when I went to college and they were still in high school, my parents specifically told them that they could still come over to our house every single day after school, even though I wasn't there.
Who doesn't love Devin Logan?
Exactly.
I was against marriage, but I went to your wedding and it was great. So
yeah, I mean, not to sound exclusionary, everyone here except Murat went.
Damn. That sounds very exclusionary.
But you know, Murat, we'll stage a second one just so we can.
Oh, really? Word. All right.
Found that on this. You know, a lot of kids. This was actually more split than I thought it was going to be. I fully expected all the teens to be like, my mom. I'll have to wait myself. Never mind.
Wow, after I was working so hard, so and then you come swooping in.
Logan was controlled.
So some of the kids did, you know, as expected, be like, no, like, screw that. But a lot of them were like, I would listen to my parents at least. Like, I would hear them out, see why they didn't like them. Not a lot of them were like, yeah, if they said no, I would immediately cut ties. But a lot of them were like, yeah, I'd listen. Sometimes this fell on, like, culture lines. Some kids who are from, like, bigger families or cultures that, you know, honored family a bit more than, like, the typical American family may. They were often fell on this side, and that kind of brought up an interesting conversation, part of, you know, a bit more of their life than some other people might have been. But yeah, so I think that we kind of covered that.